Hey everybody, welcome to
Hello.
Brits React, your BP1 and BP2.
See ya.
We're here with another request from the lovely Amanda. Amanda's brought us quite a few.
She has indeed.
Coffees and teas. You know.
Yep. We're on to aperitifs now, I think, and things like that. But thank you once again, Amanda, for all your lovely support and your interesting videos that you do like to send our way. So today, what are we checking out today, mate?
We're going to check out the night Osama bin Laden was killed back in 2011 on May the 1st.
2011?
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, it's... Yeah, there you go. 13 years
ago.
Wow. And the reaction, I assume, from the US, it doesn't say that specifically, but I think it is, you know, a video on what happened in the US on that night. So, interesting for us to see, because we, you know, probably... I don't know about you. I mean, obviously it was on the news and I remember it. But as reported, but not obviously, probably
the fallout and effect from it. Yeah.
For the US.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Yep. So, let's give it a go.
Let's do it. Let's get into it. Thank you, Amanda.
We had a division rivalry between the Mets and the Phillies. The ballpark was full. It was a really lively atmosphere, but you know, at the time, I just thought I was sitting down to do a regular baseball game.
Oh.
We didn't know what was going on. We just knew something special happened. And I don't know how to describe that when you don't know what's going on, but you know it's special.
Something.
Oh, okay.
The afternoon was spent on pins and needles. I wasn't watching sports that night.
No, I bet.
Another packed house here at Citizens Bank Park and an awfully nice night for a ball game.
Is packed.
Here in Philadelphia, the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, Sunday night baseball. You know, it's always a rivalry when a New York team and a Philadelphia team get together.
I think for the most part we respected one another, but I think certainly we didn't like each other.
When I was wearing red and white pinstripes, I couldn't stand orange, black, and blue. I just couldn't.
The Mets-Phillies rivalry, it's based on proximity. There's a little bit of a big brother, little brother issue going on, I think.
It's always extra special, obviously. That rivalry was always electric atmosphere.
Even in our production meeting prior to, I remember someone making the point that this is the only show in town. And by that, I mean really the only major sporting event going on across the country. And that's not often the case.
Okay.
No, yeah, I suppose, yeah. Bottom of the 6th inning.
0-2 count on the lead.
9.5.
On the swing and a foul tip held by Paulino. Lee strikes out. One down.
What else is a present?
I'm watching the game. We have monitors here, watching Twitter on the laptop, and the White House reporters that I follow. They started talking back and forth about the president has called a news conference.
Our news editor, Claire Smith, passed a note along at some point to me, POTUS news conference tonight. To me, honestly, you know, I'm locked in on what's going on in the field.
Yeah, exactly. You're just thinking whatever.
What this could mean.
And Young strikes him out as the Phillies leave the bases loaded here in the 7th inning.
Okay. Another hour.
It was a
Still
one-run ball
1-0.
game. The tying run was on base, and Ryan Howard's coming up. But all of a sudden, you become aware of something else.
I looked down at my phone and I got a text from a buddy who always watched games, and he said, they got bin Laden.
Bobby nudged me with his elbow and showed me his phone. You know, this isn't in the play-by-play handbook. They don't tell you how to deal with this one.
There were rumors that Osama bin Laden had been, you know, the United States had got him, and that they'd killed him.
Tom Archer, our producer, right away said, we're trying to corroborate it. Don't say anything yet. We're preparing a statement. So you try to put it out of your mind for a second.
Oh, wow.
And you keep calling the game.
They've only got 2 hits in this game. They've got 3 hits in this game. Mayberry getting the wave. The throw from Bay, not in time, and the Phillies have tied it.
When we understood what was happening and that this was less a rumor and more fact, we said we're going to bring the announcers on camera at the end of the 8th inning.
Ground ball to second, inning over.
Oh, wow, they're going to bring
some breaking news for those of you who have been with us on the ball game. ABC News is reporting that Osama bin Laden has been killed, and a presidential news conference is upcoming momentarily.
I think thereafter, we had our eyes open for when that bit of news was going to find its way into the 40,000 plus people who were at Citizens Bank Park.
Top of the 9th inning.
At the very beginning of the 9th inning, my now wife, fiance at the time, just happened to be on her phone, I guess. It wasn't the most entertaining game for her.
On CNN, an article popped up about, it's not confirmed yet, but it looks like bin Laden has been killed. And then, you know, I turned to my fiance and said, hey, look at this is something.
My friend next to me, she suddenly lets out a, oh my God, we killed bin Laden. After that, it just, everything changed.
Got a chant of USA as the news goes through the crowd.
They're all going, what's going
There were
on?
two events going on at once. One was a baseball game, and one is a hugely significant world event, which people, one by one, are finding out about around the ballpark.
You know, they're getting it on the phone, aren't they?
Yeah.
Once the word was started to leak out, we were told to find people sharing cell phone information with people beside them, find people that were excited, jumping up and down.
I see, right,
That
the
night,
cameraman.
It was pretty easy to find good shots.
That's when I decided to pull out my phone. It just kind of struck me as this is like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of moment.
Wow. So what about the players then? I mean,
yeah, I mean they're all.
They must be thinking, they know something's going on. But
there's no place in the world right now where there are more Americans gathered than in that ballpark, and they were all experiencing this rush of emotion simultaneously and spontaneously. The players, of course, had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you hear USA chants break out, you know, out of nowhere. So it's kind of just a bit of a state of confusion. Then you get locked in for your bag.
And I'm thinking, what national team's playing and who are they playing and who they beat?
There's a soccer game going on. I thought maybe there was a hockey game going on. I was confused, and it kind of took me off of what I was doing.
Just missed outside of the knees. And a base runner for the Mets here in the 9th inning at a 1-1 tie.
Bit confused, isn't he? Yeah, what's going on? Lost of concentration.
Somebody might tell them.
Well,
because it might imagine what it would make them feel.
Well, Dan, you're exactly right. As word begins to filter through the ballpark about Osama bin Laden, the players, at least in the Phillies dugout, are clearly unaware. They don't have the same devices that we have. I was directly adjacent to the Phillies dugout. They're looking at me, like, you know, and they're looking at each other, and they're looking at their manager. And the obvious question, do you know what's going on?
And here comes the USA chant again.
We didn't know what was going on. We just knew something special happened. And you're in an out, but you're in an in. You're a part of it, but part of what?
You know? Yeah.
Jason Bay is going to be the batter.
I got no idea what's going on.
No.
And I'm Canadian, and I'm thinking, I've been called a lot of things, especially in Philly, but you know, the USA thing, they're trying to get under my skin.
2 on, 2 out. Bay the batter, tied at 1 in the 9th inning. In the air to center field. Inning over.
Wow.
Everybody's coming into the dugout, and we're all kind of looking at each other, and you know, see the chants are still going, and we're sitting there going, okay, what's happened here? And the trainer kind of breaks the news to all of us.
That's kind of how it spreads, is by that word of mouth. Obviously, you know, no question, the baseball game becomes secondary to, you know, the news and the president, you know, addressing the country, you know, a few minutes after that.
Wow. The White House has just announced that the president will address the nation about 1 minute from now.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
What we remembered right away was the chants that we started hearing outside the White House. And you know, my working assumption is that if people had gathered that quickly outside of the White House, chanting USA, USA, then across the country, the same thing was taking place.
The Mets a strike away from victory.
What? 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, 1 o'clock, man.
It started at 9:45.
Got him. The breaking ball to get him Mayberry, and finally the New York Mets hang on to beat the Phillies 2-1 tonight.
2-1.
We are
that?
New York team from Philadelphia, rivals,
win on
playing
that
one
night.
another, trying to knock each other's teeth out, but the game isn't that significant anymore.
It's weird. Just being able to high five and hug Phillies fans and have that common ground. Fans you're supposed to be enemies with. All of a sudden, it became a moment of celebration, a moment of pride.
For one night, you know, it wasn't Philadelphia, New York, it was the United States of America coming together. That's something special.
That's a long old game, isn't it?
It is a very long game, and that was really quite interesting because you would never.
I mean, the only thing that as soon as it sort of started, that rattled in my little brain was the SAS Iranian embassy siege, 1980. We had the World Snooker final on. I remember sat watching it. Was it Taylor and Davis? I think Dennis Taylor. And then it just stopped, and then the news came on and said, you know, and then it showed the SAS storming the embassy. And that's the first time I've ever sort of seen, you know, sports coverage interrupted for something other than, you know, something bigger kind of thing. So that's what stuck out to me there. But yeah, you know, of course you got media now, and people are slowly receiving that information in the stands, and all of a sudden that takes over from the game, doesn't it? It must be quite an eerie feeling being on the pitch, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, and as soon as the president calls, calls for a press conference, you know something's happening, and immediately on the news channels it was, you know, Bin Laden's, and then obviously they're just waiting for that time. But again, like you said, it was very late, very late, because it was first off. You know, when they first started to hear about it, it was like you say, it was 9:45, and then it you know, it was ended up at 1 o'clock in the morning
before it's all finished and done.
Yeah, so. But yeah, thanks, Amanda, because again, that's just that was a night of, you know,
something significant. I mean, again,
and
probably
passionate,
not so massive over here, but I had no idea that sort of thing went on. So.
No,
again,
but we did. I mean, I remember. You know, I do remember vividly, because my daughter was only a few months old, so I would have been up at Christ knows what times. But I do remember that and how significant it was, all over the news. And obviously, we had the other video on how they actually did go in.
That's in our playlist.
So
check that out if you're interested.
Yeah.
I thought that was very good, and well, you know, they put the documentary together very well as well. You know.
The music made that feeling inside, didn't it? It brought the emotion back to light.
As you say, 13 years ago. I mean, time is just flying.
It is.
There
All
you
right.
go. Thank you very much, Amanda, again for a great little video. Wouldn't have thought of looking for that on my own. So thank you for bringing that over, and hopefully you people out there have found that interesting too.
Yeah, and if you've got a request for us, you can always head over to Brits React. No,
buymeacoffee.com.
Buymeacoffee.com/Brits React.
That'll be the one.
In the description anyway. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him. See you later.
Bye.
Alligator.